SpongeBob DVDs used to be a big deal, an ever-growing library that you could constantly collect. As this classic ad once said,
"It's here, it's yellow, and it's expanding."
Most of the DVDs are either a collection of episodes around a theme, are themed after a specific episode and just include other episodes that are near it in episode order, or the season releases. However, there's one DVD that deviates from these usual formats and is one of the strangest DVDs that the show has ever released. In January of 2015, Nickelodeon released a SpongeBob DVD with the most upfront title I've ever heard. SpongeBob SquarePants, the pilot, a mini-movie, and the Square Shorts. First of all, I just want to appreciate this box art. The text looks really nice and does a good job making the long title look visually appealing. The art also does a good job including a lot of the characters and not looking too overly busy. Except Squidward's smiling here is kind of unsettling. I feel like these people being stacked on top of him is the last thing he'd want. Despite the good art on the front, the only art on the back is stock art of Mr. Krabs. But let's move on to the content of this DVD. Well, you don't really need me to tell you what's on it. The title does that for me. This DVD includes the pilot, Help Wanted, a mini-movie, which is the TV movie Truth or Square, and the Square Shorts, which are 42 shorts that Nickelodeon either produced to promote specific episodes or just the show in general. Because some are specifically related to certain episodes, some are loosely related to episodes, and some don't seem to be related to any episodes. I also used to watch these shorts all the time on the Nick app when I was a young lad, and it took me way too long to realize that these were just old shorts they were putting on the app. I thought they were just randomly making shorts about Mr. Krabs and Plankton as children from Friend or Foe, or about the characters in the Atlantis van just because they felt like it. There is also another episode on this DVD that I've neglected to mention, as Reef Blower is also paired with Help Wanted, which at that point I don't know why Tea at the Tree Dome wasn't just included too. But hey, I'm not one to complain about extra content. However, the lack of that episode does make me question why Sandy is even on the cover, when excluding the shorts, her only appearance in the DVD's episodes is this. On the subject of why they didn't include certain things, they didn't include the full version of Truth or Square that's included on the Season 6 DVD. Think of all the scenes of Patchy and Robin Williams walking through hallways that the people who owned this DVD missed. While this DVD may seem like a weird release, it actually did have a purpose to it. The Season 1 DVD does not include Help Wanted, due to Nickelodeon not wanting to pay for the music rights for the song Living in the Sunlight. And while I'm not a fan of the fact that they didn't include every episode, especially on a DVD that's advertised as the complete first season, I honestly think I prefer excluding the episode over cutting out the song. Because I feel like the scene would feel empty and be kind of ruined if they took out the song or replaced it with a royalty-free song, as the song really makes the scene. However, this DVD still isn't essential to owning the entirety of the series like you might think. Help Wanted is actually included in the Season 3 DVD as a bonus feature, which I was unaware of for years. It was also featured on the DVD SpongeBob's 10 Happiest Moments, both released before this DVD. So the only reason for this release seems to be to have a place to put the shorts, and to, I guess, have a DVD that's actually advertised to have the pilot.
Sorry if it's noticeable that this is being recorded at a different time, but while editing, I noticed some things about the DVD. First of all, I just want to say that for such a weird and kind of pointless release, it's surprising how much effort is put into the menu, with these silhouettes of the characters that appear when you click on their tab. Also, I have no idea why this image of Gary has an Easter egg for a shell here. And one final side note, I just noticed this animation error within the first few seconds of Truth or Square, where this second alarm clock doesn't appear for a few frames. Alright, that's all I had to say. Back to the normal video.
Nickelodeon doesn't really shy away from using this song anymore, as it's used multiple times on their YouTube channel. I'm not sure if they don't have to pay for music rights anymore, or if they just started paying the music rights. But knowing this company, I'm tempted to believe the first one. Which, if that's true, I don't know why they didn't just put Help Wanted on the releases of the DVDs when they were switched from the bigger box sets to the smaller single case sets. Well, I do know why. It was because it's much easier to keep the discs the same and only change the packaging, but it would have made sense to put the episode on there. But SpongeBob DVDs are just overall a dying breed now. So we might as well appreciate the ones we got. There used to be seemingly endless DVDs being released, themed after every special, themed after normal episodes, themed after other random things. But there hasn't been any DVD releases in the US outside of the regular season releases and movie releases since 2020. And while I'm glad they're still doing the normal season releases, as some shows like The Simpsons, despite doing it for 20 seasons, have seemingly stopped releasing season DVDs. And while these compilation DVDs don't have much value once you have the season releases, it's still sad to see them pretty much die out, considering how prevalent they once were. But we can still look back and acknowledge the good times. Back when SpongeBob was able to be on the same DVD as Mr. Meaty.